Flash and Batman, becoming popular enough to get his own title. Of course, it would feature a standard female companion, the detective Fawn Carroll, who hates Skyman's alter ego, Playboy Alan Turner. Back at DC, Gardner Fox would create another superhero in Dr. Fate with artist Howard Sherman and More Fun Comics number 55. Influenced by H.P. Lovecraft, Fox would show it in such stories as Dr. Fate and the Fishman of Narragamin. The character was a wizard, Kent Nelson, who fought on the side of good against evil villains, unlike Lovecraft's more nuanced work, and of course had a strong female companion, Inez Kramer. Appropriately, Dr. Fate operated out of a tower in Salem, Massachusetts. It was during this time that Fox struck up a working relationship with DC editor Sheldon Mayer, who recalled having brainstorming sessions at Gardner Fox's house over dinner and fencing, claiming they would craft a book-length synopsis in their times together. Fox also saw his page rate jump from $1 to $3, while his wife, Linda, helped as his secretary and typist. While the jump in page rate was helpful, Fox still needed to write a lot to maintain a comfortable lifestyle, especially as on April 9th, 1940, their son Jeffrey Francis Fox was born, and would soon be followed by their daughter, Linda Ann Fox, on March 21st, 1943. It would be their only two, while they wanted children, Linda expressed that she didn't want to have a large family and felt that two was enough. Meanwhile, Fox's comic book career continued to soar, as he went from helping create some of the first superheroes in comic books to the first superhero team. On November 22nd of 1940, the Justice Society of America debuted in All-Star Comics number 3, written by Gardner Fox and featuring the original lineup of his co-creations like The Flash, Hawkman, Sandman, and Dr. Fate, along with Spectre, Hourman, Atom, and Green Lantern, all featured in All-Star Comics number 6. It was not only the first superhero team, but represented the first intra-company crossover with All-American Publications and National Comics, which were technically carried the DC symbol. They were also separate companies, and their merger represented the first of many for DC Comics. Starman would later join in issue number 8, whom Fox created in Adventure Comics number 61 in April of 1941 with artist Jack Burnley, who was also a subject of one of the comics' first reboots, now giving him cosmic powers. Fox would write the JSS stories till All-Star number 34 on April-May of 1947, where he introduced the villain, the Wizard. During his run, though, Gardner Fox would lay the foundation for all superhero teams hereafter, and while the JSA would later be overshadowed by the Avengers and even DC's own Justice League, it remains a significant influence in comic books, along with most recently being featured in the current Stargirl TV series. Due to Gardner Fox being declared 4F due to his bad eyesight, he was unable to serve during World War II due to his great disappointment. He did join the Queens Division of World War II's Civil Defense League, where he helped set up bomb shelters and protocols. For his comics work, the JSA joined the war effort as well, and he added another member, Dr. Midnight, a superhero with bad eyesight, around this time. To help with the war effort, Gardner Fox geared his writing towards more patriotic themes and joined the Writers' War Board to help produce them. During this time, Fox actually agreed with censoring comics such as not showing the killing of children, while All-Star number 7 encouraged raising money to help orphans. This was part of a larger push to humanitarian efforts and on Fox's own devout Catholicism, as outside of comics he raised money to help send priests on foreign missions. However, Fox was a writer of his time, and notably with a racist name The Good Jap in All-Star Comics number 12. His family would later claim he was not a bigot, having worked with many Jewish creators, and his wife's family were Italian immigrants. He even fought racial depictions on the war board, though his grandson, Greg Fox, would state that racial slurs at the time were common in his household. Gardner Fox would later explain to his grandson this was just good-hearted jabbing amongst friends, as Fox lived in a mixed neighborhood, though you couldn't get away with it today. One claim that is harder to defend, though, is his treatment of Wonder Woman when she joined the JSA, and whose first appearance was in All-Star Comics number 8 of October of 1941, created by William Moulton Marsden and H.G. Peter. After overwhelmingly winning a fan vote over which new superhero should be added to JSA, Wonder Woman appeared in All-Star Comics number 11 as the secretary. It should be noted this was likely more of a decision by the editor Sheldon Mayer, who, according to writer Robert Kanier, who took over writing Wonder Woman after Marsden died, that Mayer hated the character. Fox had frequently protected the women such as Hawkgirl on far more equal terms, and Sierra Sanders even worked with Wonder Woman in that issue, though even that fails the Begdahl test, as the topic of their discussion is about Hawkman. According to Alison Bechdel in her comic strip Dykes to Watch Out For, a work should feature at least two women in a verbal exchange that is not about a man. Fox did avoid the bondage motif that her creator, William Moulton Marsden, used frequently in her solo adventures, though she was at least able to act as a hero. Fox did make her a part of both the introductions and the conclusions to each story, while it should be noted that a secretary was considered a good job for a woman at the time. Fox's own wife, Linda, trained to be a secretary and used her skills to help with his own work. Plus, as shown in All-Star Comics number 12, as the JSA leave, Hawkman states that Wonder Woman is staying behind to deal with any emergencies at home. Sadly, Wonder Woman's treatment was a product of its times, but decades later, Gardner Fox would get another shot at how to properly portray a female superhero. After the war, Gardner Fox did receive a setback when Flash Comics, that carried both Hawkman and the Flash, was canceled in 1949. Thankfully, he had started to expand his writing career working with newly hired editor Julie Swartz, and in December of 1944, The Weirds of the Woodcarver, his first pulp piece, appeared in Weird Tales, which had a heavy Lovecraft theme. Fox was known to work well with editors, having been one before on his college papers, and often assented to their many demands. As an example of this was when Schwartz started pushing more non-superhero stories. Fox soon found himself writing science fiction such as Strange Adventures in 1951 with the story Evolution Please, the incredible story of an ape with a human brain. Fox also transitioned to westerns as the genre became more popular, even turning All-Star Comics into All-Star Westerns, and would introduce the first cowboy character Johnny Thunder in 1948. As further proof of Fox not being a bigot, Indians in his Western stories were depicted with great range, and he even created the first Native American superhero with Super Chief in All-Star Western number 117 on March of 1961 with Carmen Infantino. Fox would regularly use the book, the plot Ginny Western story formula, and integrated secret identities into the stories. On July 25, 1951, Fox got a new agent with August Lindner, and in 1953, Fox's first novel, The Borgia Blade, was published through Gold Medal Books, a swashbuckling adventure that takes place during Renaissance Europe. His favorite sport, fencing, took center stage with a subplot about a story crafted by Leonardo da Vinci himself. This was part of Fox's usual enormous research he put into his projects, which continued with his novel The Swordsman a few years later, where he used a map of Cairo in 1350 at the Mount Vernon Library. He was said to drive the librarians crazy trying to find it, while he also was able to use research skills that he developed as a lawyer. Of course, these and other novels showed his love of fencing, as sword fights were a prominent feature in the plots. Becoming a published novelist won praise from Fox's family and friends, with his father Leon personally congratulating him on May 1, 1953, as he found this more honorable than being a comic book writer. Gardner Fox continued to work with Vincent Sullivan, this time at Magazine Enterprises, ME, where he wrote Ghost Rider, originally a Western cowboy who wore a white outfit that appeared to glow in the dark due to phosphorus. Fox also wrote Moon Girl at EC Comics, along with stories in Weird Fantasy, Vault of Horror, and Haunt of Fear number 15, The Mad Magician, and The Gunfighter. However, the creation of the Comics Code Authority and its censorship practices would destroy companies like EC. Thankfully, his work at DC, which was already self-editing in line with the CCA, protected him for the most part. That's not to say that Fox was silent on the issues, as he wrote a free speech story for the JSA, though he'd ultimately followed the rules set up by the DC editors. Fox did add a supernatural element to Ghost Rider's origin at ME, where he is visited by the ghosts of famous Western heroes with Wild Bill Hickok and Calamity Jane, teaching him skills on how to ride the White Horse Spectre. However, it was these supernatural elements that got the title canceled, as it violated the CCA rules at the time, though it was a popular comic. ME and Gardner Fox would attempt to replace it with The Presto Kid, a more science fiction-based Western, but the genre was already out on the downslope, and in 1957, Vincent Sullivan's NE folded. As for Ghost Rider, his rights would be acquired by Marvel, incorporating the Western character into their comic books line, along with using the name for the current supernatural version. Despite these setbacks, Fox's place at DC would be advantageous, as it posed him to be a part of the Silver Age revival, as one of his old creations, The Flash, was just revived in Showcase number 4, leading to a new dawn in comic books, and now he is created by Robert Knyer and Carmen Infantino with a new identity, Barry Allen. And we conclude the first part of the life of Gardner Fox, but join me again next week when we conclude as Gardner Fox sets out to help with the Silver Age revival and lays even a larger groundwork for what becomes the ultimate DC Comics. And now is November 5th, 2020, time for my favorite comic of the week. Wolverine, Black, White, and Blood, number 1, by various creators, notably Jerry Dugan, Adam Kubert, and the clan Shavely, which tells a trio of stories bouncing back and forth between Wolverine's origin, the Weapon X program, working for S.H.I.E.L.D., and when he goes on a remote cabin trip, all dealing with different aspects of Wolverine's past, present, and future. This is a great, fun series that looks to really explore the Wolverine character. It will be great to read for the fans. Each story is interesting with showing how Wolverine uses a healing factor in different ways, and also why he's still the best at what he does, even when what he does people don't like very much. And best of all, the art style is very cool because as the subtitle says, Black, White, and Blood, this series is black and white except for blood, which is crimson red. So yeah, very fun series, great for Wolverine fans, so definitely check it out. And with that, we will conclude part 1 of the life of Gardner Fox, but join me again next week where we'll conclude this series with part 2 of his life. And until then, go out and enjoy yourself a good comic book.